This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, and wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. Verse 10, in the book of chapter 3. In the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verse 10, in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, beat your plowshares and the swords and the plumbing hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. In Matthews 24:6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See thee that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7, in the 24th chapter in the book of Matthew, in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, for nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdoms. There shall be famines and pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, my great millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. I say Shabbat Shalom to you Akim out there. And this is in the news on August the 12th, 2022, 3:29 p.m. in a Friday afternoon on the Shabbat. And this is in the news of rumors of wars and nation against nation, kingdom against kingdoms. And I brought out Joel 3 and 9 as well too. Of preparing war, wake up the mighty man. Rough paraphrase in reference to those scriptures. And this is a news article from MSN.com, and it was published by Fadlan Shrem and Niki Crow Mini, if I pronounced those names right, Associated Press 9 hours ago. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, the United States, Indonesia, Australia hold drills amending China's concerns. And this is from the Associated Press. Soldiers from the United States, Indonesia, and Australia joined a live drill on Friday, part of an annual joint combat exercise in Sumatra Island, amending growing Chinese maritime activity in the Indo-Pacific region. And this is an actual photo of the joint exercise training with the United States soldiers and Indonesian soldiers as well too. And it says the United States and Indonesian soldiers take their position during a Super Groda Shield 2022 joint military exercise in the Indonesia area of Friday, August the 12th, 2022. The United States and Indonesian militaries conduct the annual combat exercise in Indonesia island, joined the first time by participants from other partnering nations, including Australia, Japan, and Singapore. It says, right, and it makes sense because you got the United States and South Korea, and right, South Korea, Japan, and the United States, they are already allies. India, especially with the tensions between China and the United States already increasing as well too. It says join the first time by participants from the other partnering nations, including Australia, Japan, and Singapore, signaling stronger ties amid growing tensions of activity by China in the Indo-Pacific region. And it's in U.S. and Indonesia soldiers engaging targets with their heavy machine guns during the Super Cordova Shields in 2022 joint military exercise in Indonesia on Friday, August the 12th, 2022. The annual combat exercises of Indonesia's island joined for the first time by participants of other nations, including Australia, Japan, and Singapore, signaling, as mentioned before, stronger ties amid growing tensions, activity by China in the Indo-Pacific region. And it says a total of more than 5,000 personnel from the United States, Indonesia, Australia, Japan, and Singapore are participating in this year's exercise, making them the largest since beginning of 2009. And it says the expanded drills are seen by China as a threat. China's stated media have accused the United States of building the Indo-Pacific alliance similar to NATO to limit China's growing military diplomatic influence in the region. The United Kingdom, Canada, France, India, Malaysia, South Korea, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and the East Timor also sent to the exercises, which began early this month. And it says the U.S. Indo-Pacific Commander Adam John C. Alisco said the 14 nations involving the training and signaling their stronger ties as China growing increasingly assertive and claiming virtual the entire Southeast China Sea and holds exercise threatening a self-ruled Taiwan. The destabilized actions by the People's Republic of China as it applies to the threatening activities and actions against Taiwan is exactly what we are doing to avoid, he said at a joint news conference with Indonesia Chief Jin Andoka Perkuska in Batuja, in coastal town in South Sumatra province of Indonesia. It says will continue to help deliver a free and open Indo-Pacific and be ready when we need to respond to any contingency. El Qualino said, it says Indonesia and China enjoy generally positive ties, but Jakarta have expressed concerns about what it sees as China encroachment in its exclusive economic zone in the South China Sea. Despite the official position as a non-claimant state in the contested South China Sea, Indonesia has been dragged along in the territorial dispute since 2010, after the claim that part of the Indonesia exclusive economic zones in the northern region of the islands in Kuni, Rahoska Nandi Barki, a security analyst at the University of Indonesia. The edge of the exclusive economic zone overlaps Beijing's unilaterally declares a 9-dash line demarcating its claims in the South China Sea. Increased activity by Chinese Coast Guard vessels and fishing boats in the area have unraveled Jakarta, prompting Indonesia's Navy to conduct a large drill in July of 2020, which is 2 years ago, in waters around Natuna and the southern portion of the South China Sea. And it says, right, because it's kind of the same similarity that I did a story about a couple of weeks ago about the United States will have, I believe they will protect the Philippines from the South China Sea of a tense increase of activity of China's of rights over the South China Sea. So yeah, you got a lot of activity going on in the region in regards to who's going to claim the South China Sea. Because like I mentioned before, in doing the video in regards to tensions, tensions increasing in the South China Sea, because you got Beijing stationed there, Japan, potentially South Korea, the United States, and then you got the Taiwan island situation between the United States and China increasing. And then China is trying to have rights over the South China Sea, and while others as well too. So that tension definitely continues to stirs up, which is got to keep an eye on as well too, along with China potentially invading Taiwan's island as well too. That's another to keep an eye on as well too. And then you got the tensions between Australia, as Australia doing these exercises with, I believe, South Korea, Japan, and, mostly South Korea, Australia, Indonesia, and the United States. Now they, during their exercise drill in the part of Indonesia, which is underway. And I believe it's another exercise drill is going to be this month as well too, because you got the growing tensions between Australia and China over the claims of the South China Sea. And I was reading through the article, it said Indonesia been dragged along in this situation as well too, for over rights over the South China Sea. So yeah, it's definitely tension stirring up over there in the South China Sea next to the Taiwan island as well too. So you got many different tensions in 3 or 4 different areas and different categories of tensions rising. And that's why in the last days, that's why the book of Matthew did definitely mention it was going to be a tension between the nations, which is recorded in, I believe, Matthew 24, verse 7. As I always bring out in my videos, because, it always been so much increase of, the nations going against each other. Now it's starting to be increasingly on an everyday basis, which has been increasing now more than ever, And it's continuing on with the reading. I just wanted to add 2 cents to that. It says, Indonesia sees the current exercises with the U.S. as a deterrent in defense of the Natuna Islands, while for Washington, the drills are as part of the efforts to forge a united front against China's military backup in the South China Sea. Barkley said Indonesia wants to send a message that it fully prepares for any high-intensity conflict in the South China Sea. She said the joint combat exercise ends Sunday. It says Carmini reported from Jakarta, Indonesia. So yeah, it's gonna continue in these stirring up between the nations as they battle it out over South China Sea. You know, especially with the United States and China as well too. Then with Australia against China. So you got tensions going on all over the place, especially with the claims over the South China Sea. And then you got other nations with their military station monitoring one another. If any other's gonna make a move, especially keeping another eye on with the South China Sea, you know, as Japan flying warplanes and military stuff down there as well too, as they getting close to potentially very soon might come up of a potential invading of Taiwan. It's possible, but we don't know when for sure. But we're seeing signs of that because you see the United States is unofficially alliance and allegiance with Taiwan for being a self-governor and self-protected, and Beijing and China doesn't like that, that's why they continue to send warnings to the United States and its allies as well too, because the United States got the allies of South Korea, Japan, Australia, so they sending that quite message to the United States and its allies as well too. Yeah, because they still look at Taiwan as part of them, as part of their race and nation. Even though they separated from 1949 after the war, I believe. So yeah, so tensions are brewing. Tensions are stirring up between the nations, and it's going to definitely increase more and more and more now than ever on an everyday basis. And it's definitely been showing that on an everyday basis as well too, because you've been hearing these rumors of wars in the news definitely increasing, and they've definitely been showing it right in front of our eyes on an everyday basis. We hear these things in the news, as I continue to do lessons on this subject matter of hand of what the nations gearing up, preparing for war. That's why you've been seeing the increase on the times where they scheduled to have joint exercise military drills, and that's what we've been seeing, and it definitely been increasing. So I expect to see more of the rumors of wars, kingdoms against kingdoms, and nations against nations, now more than ever. So with that, I hope this was edifying on this Shabbat through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Bakar double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely, and shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely, and shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a bar.